Hi, I'm Mike and welcome to my Allotment UK. Wow, it's hot. And I mean it's hot. And I mean hot. Everything has slowed down due to the heat. Senior citizens have been advised to not to dehydrate, to drink plenty of water and to soak the feet in a bowl of water and cool down, take it easy. And certainly not have a drop of the hard stuff, because in this heat you would just evaporate, believe me. What have I been doing this week? Well, all I've been doing is watering and harvesting, and I've done very little else, which is why this episode has run into 2 weeks instead of one. And what slowed everything down? Well, some lowlife has stolen my hose with all its fitting, and last week I went to the plot with the intention of filling up my water butts on the various stations I've got. Found the hose was missing. I had to revert to the one barrel, the communal barrel, and humping the water from there to each of the plots, or should I say to each of the raised beds. I have 10 raised beds at the moment with produce growing in them, and it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to water each one, and some, like the sweet corn, take longer. The hose was positioned in the gap between the fence on the plot boundary and the raised beds, and they must have just leaned over, pulled it out and ran off with it, or calmly walked away, I don't know, but it's gone. It did not stop harvesting though, and things are doing quite well on the plot. I'm still continuing to harvest carrots, harvest beetroot, onions we are now using, so we're not buying those, and potatoes. French beans are now well in pod, and so I'm getting a good supply of those along with the runner beans. And also the tomatoes have started to ripen up, and so we've got a supply of those. Oh yes, and for the fruit we have blackberries, some nice juicy large blackberries, and the occasional late strawberries. In fact, the plot is producing more than what we can cope with, which isn't a problem, because I've got plenty of neighbours who, because of their age or their illness, are still self-isolating. And I took some vegetables round to one of my neighbours and offered her some vegetables, and I told her about my mishap with the hose pipe, and she says, "Oh, don't worry about that, I've got one in the garage which is collecting cobwebs. Try that and see if that fits." So I took that to the plot, and yes, it's working okay. So that evening I took the hose pipe down to the plot with the intention of filling up my barrels, but I found that there were other people there and I had to join the queue, so I only managed to fill one barrel half full. Didn't get it the full depth. I had to give it up for somebody else that was also waiting to fill their tubs. So this is obviously a job for early in the morning. I mentioned about my mishap with the hose pipe, and one of the plot holders said, "Well, we know that there's somebody coming round stealing stuff. We don't know whether it's a job's worth who thinks because we're not supposed to use hose pipes, why do we need a hose pipe?" And I take it away. And then I think there's somebody that's finding that the plot is an easy place to get produce or equipment. I don't know, but they say that when they finish with their hose, they roll it up and they place it into the barrel and submerge it in the water. And I thought that was a good tip, and I've started doing that now. As I said, I managed to get one station online. I did the watering, dunking from that, and it speeded up, and it gave me more time now to spend on the allotment instead of just doing continually watering and harvesting. and I decided to move the barrel I've got, which is really set for drain pipes in domestic gardens. It doesn't lend itself to dunking, and I thought I'll position that at the highest point on the plot, clear that back, and I'll be able to connect a hose pipe and let gravity do the work. So I commenced to start clearing the hedge at the back, cutting that back, which was it took the rest of the day in actual fact, and I had to come back next morning and do some more. But I got that station set, and again, while that was loading up with water with the hose pipe from the standpipe, I dumped watered the other raised beds. Incidentally, the unknown plants that I was given by David has an aptitude for not labelling his seedlings correctly. It turned out to be cucumbers, and one was ready for harvesting, which we have taken. So that's basically what I've been doing on the plot. At home I've been busy as well, and you may remember that I renovated the front lawn, and I didn't take any films for that, and the front lawn is looking quite good now, and I've come to the conclusion that it's not feeding the lawn that makes it green, it's just cutting it twice a week, only cutting a third off the top, letting it grow. Don't cut it right down low, which is what I have been doing, but it has to be about, what, 1.5 inches long, and then trimming that. But it's starting to look embarrassing for me because all my neighbours' lawns are all going yellowy brown, and I've got this emerald green thing stuck. It stands out like a chapelette pig. Though I am watering it, I give it 1 inch of water in the morning and 1 inch of water at night. But with this hot weather, I'm certain that we're going to get a hosepipe ban, and I'll have to stop watering it. So I've been doing some research to see what I can do to improve the root system, and it seems to be the information I'm getting from the States anyway, where they have more extreme weather than what we do here in the UK. I mean, usually the UK is down as a wet, damp island, while there's parts of the States is downright desert. But the Americans, like we in the UK, do love the lawns, and the trend seems to be going for seaweed liquid fertilisers. So I've gone onto the internet, and I've got a couple of types which I'm going to try. I can actually show what I did on the front lawn, renovate the back lawn now, because she quite likes the front with this green grass. Can I rectify the front? Well, I'll just take you over the front just to show what it used to look like. Earlier in the year we asked 3 companies to give us a price for relaying the lawn, and the prices we got back were very high, and we selected the cheapest and asked them to do it, and then they gave backward to say that they couldn't do it, so my wife said, well, try and renovate it, and she's happy with what's happened. And you can see there's still 1 or 2 bare spots, and there's still some weeds coming through. And I think that's the other secret about the green lawn, is you need a good selective weed killer that just kills weeds but leaves the grass alone. And this is the one that I've used. So I'm now pouring that onto the rear lawn, and this is the stuff. And what I've got to do is work out how much 5 litres covers. And 5 litres according to the bottle should cover 25 square metres, and I've measured my lawns, and both lawns are about 16 square metres. The front lawn is just less than 16 square metres, and the back lawn is 400 greater than 16 metres. So the back lawn is 16 metres 400, front lawn is 16 metres max. Okay, and that's now on, and it's slow acting, and it takes about 6 weeks. So we'll see that how that goes. But the other thing I did was I spiked it, I covered it with topsoil and garden peat. So we'll see how that goes. And then today it's rain. We've had thunderstorms today, so I'm not going to be able to do anything outside, which is why I'm in here now discussing my next upload. Well, that's it for this upload. I've overrun my allotted time, but there you go. All that's left for me to say is I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for staying with me and watching through it. And if you liked it, a thumbs up would be nice. And if you've not already done so, then please subscribe. But most of all, please comment. And to get future notifications of uploads, then please ring that bell. Which leaves me just to say, take care, look after yourself, and hopefully I'll see you next week. So, bye, take care.